latest updates from across the Siva Valley war zone. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. I'm Geoffrey Jennings. Weeks into the 40th ceasefire, diplomatic talks between the Sivish Wardens and Veli Masayan Colonials appear to have broken down. Recalls of soldiers that have just been sent home are being issued in both countries, with many receiving it before they could even leave the war zone. As usual, most of the heavier equipment was sent back first. I'm still not sure why they do that, but should hostilities break out once more and begin the 41st conflict, expect mostly infantry fighting in the first 10 days, at least before things start to ramp up. At least that's what history has taught us. Something that will most likely change is the spread of the war to all of the Siva Valley war zone, owing to the compression of fighting in the last one. Whatever happens, at least in the next few days, or possibly even hours, might be a big one. Stick with us here as we'll be covering the possible outbreak of hostilities. Make sure to go on the air as soon as that happens, or at least as soon as we receive verifiable news. With updates every 15 and 45 of the hour, if available, I'm Geoffrey Jennings, and this is Foxhole Flash. Weather at the bottom of the hour. Let's get back to the music here. Troops and supplies continue to amass near the DMZ as fears of a 41st conflict grow. Joining me now is who is this?
This is Dr. Ryan.
Hello, yes, Colonial Medic Dr. Ryan near the front. Wait a second, Dr. Ryan, that name sounds familiar. Hold on, can you introduce yourself here, Dr. Ryan?
My name is Dr. Ryan. I came to you a few days ago about a malevolent book. I have cracked the book's code. I have figured out the date.
Who patched him through? You couldn't find anyone else, really? All right,
20 minutes from now, the dead will rise.
The dead will rise. Okay. Okay.
I'm telling you, the dead are rising in 20 minutes. Me and the fellow archaeologists have been working on this
wait a second.
Night.
You've got it down to minutes at a time. You've got it down clocked in on your stopwatch.
Yes, I do. We do. We're telling you, man. Make it known to everybody. The dead are going to rise.
Okay, where will they rise?
Everywhere.
Oh, that's very specific. Okay, what? How many? All of them? I buried my grandmother about 3 months ago. Is she gonna die? Is she gonna come up from the dead?
All we know, in 20 minutes, the dead will rise.
Okay, you just can't you can't enlighten us if you keep saying the same thing over and over again.
I'm telling you, man. The dead are coming.
Okay, clearly okay. Well, cut it. Just go to music. Just get the music.
You're listening to PressCorps Radio.
Okay, I don't fucking know where they went. I couldn't even...
Live from PressCorps World Headquarters, this is a special report. We interrupt your scheduled programming of the Cadmium Stage of the Skies for a special report. To no one's surprise, the 40th ceasefire has ended, and hostilities have resumed between the Sivish Wardens and Velayan Masayan Colonials, sparking the 41st conflict. Troops are pouring across the DMZ as both sides race to stake their claim across the 4 positions here in the opening hours and days. Fighting has been reported in the central regions as predicted, in particular Marvin's Hollow, Loch, and of course the Deadlands. Abandoned Ward is expected to see heavy skirmishing as the back lines of both armies rush to set up a war machine. Activity is also being reported at Saltbrook Channel in Lindless Shore and Jade Cove in Feranic Coast, most likely defensive operations for high-value locations. Quote, "We are on the precipice of a very bloody affair," unquote. That line reported from Senator DeLorbis of the Colonial Senate at Chambercrest just a few minutes ago as war was declared. Most likely that the Sivish clan chiefs are most likely conducting similar political maneuvering in order to build up morale and war support for such a larger conflict. And again, as we predicted earlier, it's most likely that the fighting will continue to spread across the entire Siva Valley disputed border regions. We're going to continue to gather as much news and as much information as we can from the front line. Of course, as usual, here in the opening few minutes and the opening few hours and days, things are extremely chaotic, so we'll verify what we can. In the meantime, let's get back to your regular scheduled programming here. Bureau of Occult Warfare, Episode 1, Cadmium Stage of the Skies.
See the white of their eyes when they went outside that window.
Live from PressCorps World Headquarters, this is Foxhole Flash, bringing you the latest updates from across the Siva Valley war zone. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. I'm Geoffrey Jennings. Here in the 41st conflict of the Foxhole War, it's day 1. It's shaping up to be one of the largest conflicts we've seen, as the Deadlands has seen massive devastation. Towns continue to fall, although curiously enough, towns have not been rebuilt. The lines are very porous right now, making it difficult to get an accurate reading of troop concentrations and action. Reports are coming in and of an unusually high rate of casualties on the front lines just in the first few hours. What this can be attributed to, we're not quite sure yet. Continue to gather as much information and news readings as possible. It'll be quite difficult considering the chaos on the front lines. Apparently this one had been building up for quite some time over several conflicts, but we'll have to see. Okay, we also have a statement from the Colonial Senate, specifically the... Really? Okay. The Animal Domestication and Control Quorum. Quote, there is an uptick of wild and dangerous animals on the loose in Northern Valley. Do not approach any untamed animals. If you encounter one, please report them to the closest colonial outpost. Okay, that was... Alright, well, anyway, as we continue to try and gather as much information as possible, please, if you have information, send it through the Discord newswire, the PressCorps newswire, through the Discord link below. Come into PressCorps World Headquarters, and we'll make sure to get your stories read live on the air. With updates every 15 and 45 of the hour if available, I'm Geoffrey Jennings, and this is Foxhole Flash. Let's get back to the music. Here in the 41st conflict of the Foxhole War, it's day 2. The Colonial Legion appears to be in full retreat in a stunning upset on just the second day of fighting. Various reports tell of legionary forts falling across the front line, as a majority of forces are coalescing around logistics hubs as far back as the Blemish in the Heartlands. Additionally, the Warden Army is in full retreat. Wait, hold on. Someone verify this. That can't be right. Come on, someone's getting sloppy. We apologize. That can't be right. Both armies being in full retreat would not match with the rapid rise in casualties. Either the reports are wrong, or Ken isn't crunching the numbers right, which that's never happened before, not in our history. Really? Okay. A very interesting development. Both sides appear to be pulling out of the central regions, but fighting continues. Then what's going on in the Heartlands? That's way south. All right. What else we got here? In other news, the Service of the Chief Health Inspector of Siva has issued a health warning to all citizens of the Warden Empire. The advisory here: wash your hands and cover your mouth when coughing. Report all sick or unwell individuals to the Service of the Chief Health Inspector or your nearest Warden garrison. All right. Again, we apologize for the lack of substantial news and reports. This conflict has proven extremely chaotic, rapid, and as a result, very, very difficult to read. I cannot stress this enough. If you have a story you'd like to share from the front lines, stop on by PressCorps World Headquarters, the Discord link below, and we'll make sure to get your messages live on the air. And we'll get a handle on this situation. With updates every 15 and 45 of the hour if available, I'm Geoffrey Jennings, and this is Foxhole Flesh. Let's get back to the music here. What do you mean an eclipse?
Across the alley from the Alamo.
Live from PressCorps World Headquarters, this is a special report. It's day 2 of the 40th conflict here in the Foxhole, the 41st conflict of the Foxhole War, excuse me. A peculiar update on the 41st conflict right now. An eclipse has taken hold over the Siva Valley war zone. Such an eclipse was not predicted by any meteorological service, including our own. This is highly unusual. Various reports of those in the eclipse area describe it happening instantaneously, as if the lights just went out. Fighting has also spilled over beyond the Great March, south into Valley proper, with chaos in the countryside. We're receiving word that various small towns and farming communities have been evacuated. Whether this is the work of deep warding commando activity or possibly Valayan separatist action against the colonial government, we are not certain. Tensions between the Valayan and Masayan decades in the colonial senate at Chambercrest has reached similar levels before, but there had been fears that recent uproars might result in violent insurrection. Now we do have correspondence with someone from the front lines in the Siva Valley war zone. This is the 22 ACR. Who is this?
22 ACR Ryan, bringing reports from the front line in Heartlands.
Hold on, this is Dr. Ryan again?
Yes, sir. This is Dr. Ryan. Look out your fucking window. Look around you. The dead have risen. We told you this was happening. You didn't listen.
Are you? Hold on. Is this part of a Section 7 outfit? Are you okay?
Look out your fucking window.
There's no windows in the studio. It's an enclosed studio.
Well, look outside. The dead are everywhere.
Hold on. Where were you reporting from? Who is this? I know it's Ryan, but where are you reporting from?
I'm reporting from the Heartlands.
Heartlands where specifically?
The scrap notes. We're trying to build up structures over here.
Okay, some scrap note in the Heartlands. I won't press any further for fear of leaking intelligence, but if the dead, let's say the dead are rising and attacking, which I just can't believe, then how bad, how many have risen?
All of them.
All of them, so everyone. Is this everyone that has ever existed?
Let me give you an update.
Okay.
If you have a totem, there's a way to keep yourself protected. So long as you have a totem, you are immune from the dead. Anyone who has been affected without a totem have risen from the dead and are beyond helping.
Hold on. Where can people get these totems?
Your local town hall.
Are they just handing them out?
Basically, yes. I don't understand it either.
Okay, hold on. So, totems. What do people have to do with these totems? Do they have to equip them somehow, or can they just...
Yes. You just you equip them on your body, you hold on to them on your person.
Equip them on your body. So they have to be on your body. They have to be equipped. You cannot simply just have them in your backpack.
Exactly.
Okay. Do the undead die as well?
Yes, they are killable, but at night they are very more ferocious and harder to kill, as I've told you.
Now, so this is at night, but there's an eclipse right now, apparently. Are they still powerful right now?
Yes.
It should be. I think it should be daytime. What time is it over there in the Siva time?
It is. Well, it's actually day 2, 00 hours.
It's midnight. Okay, so it should be night there anyway. Can you see the moon?
I cannot.
Can't even see the moon, so it's a waning moon apparently. Okay. You have any other correspondence or news for us here?
There's fighting going all around the nations, both Philly and Calva. I am on comms with some of the Calvish forces as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have banded together to form an alliance. The Seavish and Valian nation has.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Independent groups of Seavish and Colonial soldiers have stopped fighting.
Yes, that is correct.
Is this even a 41st conflict at that point?
Honestly, I don't.
Well, semantics aside, is there anything? Can you tell us anything that the 22 ACR plans on doing to combat this?
Well, actually, we've been working on a new piece of technology since the war broke off. It's top secret, but we'll let you know more about it in the future.
Top secret at this time. You still want to remain top secret. All right. Well, Ryan, if you didn't have anything else for us, then thank you, I guess, for this.
Yes, I would like to say one more thing.
Interesting.
You all thought I was fucking crazy. Look at the war. Look at the war. Look at it now.
Okay, well, just for the record, everything you had said up to that point had betrayed every piece of human reasoning, behavior, or logic that had ever come to fruition. So you know what? Don't blame us for trying to verify the facts here. Ladies and gentlemen, the 22 ACR, Dr. Ryan, thank you, if I can even say that, for coming on the air. Yeah, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to the music. This is, I don't even know what song this is. Ralphie, just play it.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Live from PressCorps World Headquarters, I'm Geoffrey Jennings, and this is Foxhole Flash, bringing you the latest updates from across the Siva Valley war zone.
Here in the 41st conflict of the Foxhole War, well, honestly, I'm not quite sure if it's even earned that name. This is, the way things are panning out, this is highly unusual. Hold on a minute. Hey, the red light's on. Come on, we know this by now. What?
Mr. Jennings, I am Magistrate Simon Brandt, and I have been sent here on the authority of the Royal Court of Siva to commandeer your broadcasting station.
I'm sorry, but your authority is not recognized here. I thought the Royal Court knew this already.
We have never recognized your non-recognition.
Did you bring soldiers with you?
Excuse me?
Did you bring armed personnel to help enforce your will on my independent studio?
Well, I did not. But since I have commandeered this studio for the Empire, I am not leaving.
Well then, I guess we're at an impasse. You know, since we both appear to have claims over this equipment, why don't we share it? Here, use microphone too. Have a seat.
I do not need your permission to use the Royal Court's microphone.
Yeah, well, considering I can have Ralphie behind the glass there shut all of this down without you knowing how to turn it all back on, why don't you just take the mic?
Very well.
All right then. Considering you barged in here claiming the studio for the Wardens, they must want to get a message out to everyone. That, coupled with the fact that they couldn't spare any troops to actually secure this studio, must mean something's gone really, really bad. And we're the only signal still transmitting to Warden-controlled Siva, am I right?
I have not been authorized to say yes.
Understood. So, what is it the Wardens want to tell the world so bad?
The dead are returning to life and attacking the living.
Excuse me?
The dead are returning to life and attacking the living.
Yeah, I got that. This has to be the worst attempt at psychological warfare I've seen.
It is true.
This is outrageous.
Well, I agree. But that doesn't change what's happening out there. The dead are attacking the living, and the sooner the citizens of Siva learn this, the sooner they can comply with the Warden armed forces in handing over the bodies of the deceased.
The listening public are going to have a hard time believing this, let alone complying with it. You're asking them to hand over their dead? Coming back to life? You know, Ken Rister, who does casualties, he did a report on this kind of thing back when there were Warden rumors of body mishandling.
Do you believe the dead are returning to life and attacking the living? Did I not hear reports you read over the air all hinting at this?
I'm not sure what to believe, Magistrate, if you even are one. All I've gotten so far is what you people tell us through the wire. It's hard enough to believe...
It's fact. It's fact.
It's hard enough to believe without you coming in here...
You're not running Zero Dark PressCorps here, Mr. Jennings. You can forget pitching an audience the moral bullshit that they want to hear.
You're talking about abandoning every human code of reason and ethics that's ever been written.
I can't stand public figures such as yourself. The situation is being dealt with irresponsibly by the public at large. You have not listened. They have not listened. We have had this situation for several days now. What will it take? What will it take to make you people see?
People aren't willing to accept your solutions, and I, for one, don't blame them.
Every dead body that is not exterminated becomes one of them. Those who fall will get up again and kill. The people it kills get up and kill. The dead body must be exterminated. This situation must be controlled before it's too late. They are multiplying too rapidly.
All right, Magistrate, we need some facts. The public needs facts. What do you have to give us?
Well, there are several theories being floated around now. You asked why they kill. We're not quite sure. We have been unable to contain one long enough for it to not act on its unending homicidal tendencies. Even if we did, I doubt we could communicate with them through their animalistic growls. If we had dealt with this phenomenon properly, without emotion, it wouldn't have come to this. There is currently martial law in effect in Whedon's Row, as in all major cities across the Empire.
I'm sorry, but this is outrageous. This is flat out almost immoral that I'm broadcasting this.
How pathetic would it be? Should we be unable to check the spread of this malady because of the emotional attitudes of the citizens towards this issue of morality? It is the order of the Warden Armed Forces, by command of the Royal Court, the authority of the Emperor. Citizens may no longer occupy private residences no matter how safely protected or well-stocked. Citizens will be moved into central areas of various cities. The bodies of the dead will be delivered over to specially equipped squadrons of the Home Guard and the nationalized police forces for organized disposition. They must be destroyed.
All right, we're going to go to break while we verify these claims, as well as the identity of this magistrate with an incredible voice, but still.
Communication has gone down across SIVA. You cannot expect
Oh, you're doing a
our
great job
men to
calming
be able
people
to
down.
handle
Hey,
this
Ralphie,
without
Ralphie,
cooperation
cut
by
the
your
music. Just cut
side.
it.
PressCorps Radio. Don't touch that dial, you idiot.
For the Press Corps, I'm Geoffrey Jennings. We are now receiving a feed, and I believe we are about to, we're about to get a live feed from Chambercrest, and just outside the Colonials Senate chambers, where it is reported that Senator Daedalus will have a message, the first official message from the colonial government directly concerning this escalating crisis. We'll patch you through now.
On behalf of the colonial consuls, I would first like to reassure every man, woman, and child who lives under our legionary banner of their safety. We have already broken off a detachment of the Legion, away from the fighting up north, to form a task force that can swiftly and decisively deal with this issue. This task force will systematically sweep through Valley, but for reasons of operational security, I cannot discuss their movements. But to each of our colonies, united under the Legion, together we will be strong and be made stronger from this hardship. Additionally, any traitorous secessionist activity will also be rooted out and eliminated. Thank you. No questions.
Well, there you have it. Swift colonial response as being promised. We'll see how that actually turns out. Let's get back to the music in the meantime. For the Press Corps, I'm Geoffrey Jennings. Live from PressCorps World Headquarters, this is a special report. Are we good? All right. You have to excuse me. Things have gotten very chaotic in the past few days, and honestly, in the past few hours. We're getting reports of confirmed reports that the undead have risen. That the undead have risen. That's from Fisherman's Row to Godcroft's, from Reaching Trail to the Great March. We have confirmed reports that both armies are in disarray. We're not even sure if both sides are even engaged in conflict with one another, but it seems that the undead have come back to life and are now attacking the living. Can you shut that door? All right, excuse me. We do have correspondence with someone now live on the air. Hello. Hello.
Hello there.
Yes, I'm told I'm speaking with Staff Sergeant BamBam. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Staff, where are you now?
I am currently south of Ulster Falls, currently in the Warden territory. The entire mid-range of the map is completely in disarray. It's completely fallen. We have no idea where we're going at this point. We're just drifting without fuel.
Drifting, as in, are you on a sea craft?
Yeah, we are on a barge currently in like the Line of Mercy area, if I remember.
And just to clarify, you're a Colonial, right?
Yes, there has been multiple ceasefires across the armies currently.
That sounds right.
People are dying all around me.
Now, where did you? I'm assuming, being on a barge, you evacuated from somewhere. Where did you evacuate from?
Originally, I was protecting a bridge on the Mercy Wish, and we got reports that the people of Lochmore needed help, so we went there to Dunkirk them out, as the Colonials would say. And I've been running missions back and forth, getting people away from the undead horde. Our boat driver was sadly killed, and I took control of it, and I've been taking him back and forth, and we just had the last boat leave. We can't get any more people out of there.
Right. How many of you are on the boat?
We got 6 people out earlier. We had 6 people get on, but a guy turned right in front of us and started attacking. We only have 2 people left.
I can see dozens at a time, or half dozens at the time. How fast did the undead overtake Lochmore?
Lochmore is the only city still standing currently, but from reports of people, it happened within minutes.
We're talking about Fairmore, right? We're talking about Fairmore?
Lochmore.
The region of Lochmore, okay.
Yeah, it happened within. It started with just one fort falling, and then within minutes, more and more forts started falling, and it's just gone.
See, and can you describe this undead to our listeners physically?
Imagine the most horrifying thing you've ever seen. You imagine your family decaying directly in front of you, but still living, with only anger in their eyes glowing dark red with rage. They do not comply. You just have to shoot them, or they'll turn you into what they are. There's no words to describe what they are.
See, I can take a moment there if you like.
My brother.
Was he in the armed forces as well?
Yeah. He was shot while trying to get men on the last barge. The armies are so unorganized, they don't know what they're shooting at this point. No one can trust anybody. It's every man for themselves out here, man. We can't do it.
Can you tell us about logistics? Is there any semblance of a war machine?
There is no logistics. We're picking up whatever we can off of dead bodies, whatever was left in the town halls from the previous wars. There's nothing.
Now, if you feel safe enough to share this, do you know where you're headed?
We're currently just adrift currently in the waters. There's been reports of people trying to get out to the Orebreaker Isles. At least that's where the Wardens were going. Just the regions where there are no undead currently. The entire south, pretty much, of colonial territory has been taken. So it just seems people are trying to get to the islands where the undead could not really get around.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, did you? What? How much fuel did you say you had out there in the lake?
When I got the boat, it was about half full. My first round to Lochmore, we sent a brave soul back to the town hall to get more fuel. Got us to about halfway, and we took them wherever we could, as far north as we could get.
As far
And
north.
that's where we're at. We made it to Ulster Falls. And since the armies can't trust who's been turned or not, we're being shot by Wardens, even though there's a ceasefire. No one can trust each other out here.
Right. It's not a widely known ceasefire, or as you mentioned, alluded to earlier, it's various ceasefires, impromptu, happening, unsanctioned by either governments.
Yep.
So we'll have to continue to monitor that. Okay. Staff Sergeant BamBam of the Colonial Army, but working with Wardens wherever possible against the undead. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see if anyone's out there to help.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Well, that was a live correspondence on the air. Someone calling in, please, if you or anyone else that you know can join us live on the air. We're going to stay on the air as long as possible here. To please call in through the PressCorps World Headquarters through the Discord link below underneath, and we will try to get your words, try to get your story out on the air with us. In the meantime, we're gonna hold on. Yeah, go ahead, come in. Okay. Casualty numbers are coming in at an incredible rate. In Marvin Hollow, reportedly 1,000 Warden casualties per hour, 400 Colonial casualties per hour. In Lochmore, we were hearing that earlier, about 670 Warden casualties per hour, 800 Colonial casualties per hour. In the Deadlands, casualty rates seem to be lower, but that may be because the entire region appears to have been overrun. I do not think there is anyone left in the Deadlands who we can talk with, or possibly even alive. If you are hearing this and you are in the Deadlands, please remain in a sheltered area, and we will see if anyone call in if possible, and see if anyone can get out to you. In Varanic Coast, we have 180 Warden casualties per hour, 160 Colonial casualties per hour. There are Warden and Colonial positions in close proximity to one another. We do not have correspondence on the ground. We are not aware if both sides have agreed to a ceasefire, if not locally, perhaps in the region, maybe even farther out. Combined casualty rates, well, actually individual casualty rates in total here include 4,500 Warden casualties and 4,600 Colonial casualties, thereabouts even, more or less. Total of 9,153 confirmed casualties so far here in the 41st conflict. It is unknown how many of those casualties are from human firearms deaths, and to those of the undead. In fact, we may even have a difficult time calculating these casualties simply because those who die in turn become reinforcements for the undead. The undead so far are believed to be very fast out on the field, very difficult to hit. It has been suggested by several reports that the best way to survive is with a group and in a highly fortified area. If you are alone or outside of a defensive position, it is highly advised that you find either one of those, if not both, as soon as possible. If you're just joining us, we are covering the ongoing dead harvest among the among those here in the 41st conflict, if it's even the 41st at all. I don't even think this deserves such a title. I'm Geoffrey Jennings, and from PressCorps World Headquarters, over the past several days, I think we're on day 3 now, the opening hours of day 3, fighting started off as normal as troops crossed the DMZ, poured into the DMZ across the central regions, Deadlands, Lochmore, Marben Hollow, as expected. Infantry engagements began as usual, and then at some point during those first few hours, the undead began to attack, at least though it's consistent with the reports that we've been receiving earlier. The Deadlands was the first to fall, with almost no one left in that region that we are aware of. No hardpoints, no hardpoints left in the region of the Deadlands. In addition, Umbral Wildwood just south, normally a colonial strong point in the center, in the heart of their territory, also remains unclaimed. Low amount of casualties, but again, that may just hint towards how many people left there are in the past few hours or so. We're just receiving word, flash through the Discord wire. In Lochmore, the town of Fairmore, the town hall at Fairmore has just been destroyed, consistent considering the evacuations that were called about 20 minutes ago. We spoke to Staff Sergeant BamBam, who evacuated, made multiple runs, multiple trips out of the city of Fairmore in the center of Lochmore, and escaped upriver up to Ulster Falls. And it is believed there that a ceasefire, at least last we heard when we talked to him over the air, a ceasefire had been declared between the Wardens and the Colonials. Excuse me. Nothing else out of there? In Weathered Expanse, it appears that multiple forts have gone down, including the town of Crow's Nest. Weathered Expanse is an eastern region, northeastern region, and it seems the western half of that region seems to have fallen to the undead. Last we heard, the safe house at Crow's Nest is still operational. It's unknown if that may be soon to fall as well. Logistics operations are being confirmed in and around the towns of, well, honestly, towns that have been overrun, of course. The Blemish in the Heartlands. It appears Kirknell in Viper Pit. Honestly, a lot of this information is still coming out as we're reading it. The Silk Farms in Shackled Chasm. Again, if you have any information regarding the safety of towns as well as safe locations, please share them with us, and we'll make sure to get that information live on the air for you. I think we're going to go back to music. Yeah, go ahead, go for it. We're gonna go back to music until we can get more information here. This is a special report. Geoffrey Jennings. We'll come back to you when we can.
Is this thing on?
Yes, sir. You can go ahead.
Okay, good. Hello, PressCorps. This is Commander Rod of the Roughnecks. Currently in Jade Cove, in one of the garrison houses. We're still holding, but I don't know for how long. If you're wondering why I sound the way I do, I got bit. My left forearm. It's gone now. I cut it off, just in case. I lost a lot of blood least my doctor says I will. If you don't mind, doing a favor for an old friend, Mr. Jennings. The following is a message to every single Warden clan that still stands, as well as for all Colonial clans willing to put aside our differences for the sake of the survival of our species. We have a chance to emerge from this curse victorious. Not for Siva, not for Veli, not for Messiah. We can stand for humanity, for all that's good in this world. I beg of you, lay down your arms against your fellow man and stand united. Stand united against the cursed. Never before have we faced a threat such as this. But never before have we had the numbers to retaliate in such a manner. Each of us will be defined by our actions in the coming battles. I would like to believe that there is good in all of us to stand united, to stand fast, to stand strong. This is a call to all humans. Unite. It's not too late to heal old war wounds. For the sake of our survival. Think of your families. Think of your loved ones. Think of our children. Think of our futures. And we all know, if Morrow and Callahan were alive, they would stand united in the face of such danger. I believe in you. I believe in all of us. Which is why I hereby declare the Bureau of Occult Warfare open. If you are listening to this message, you are the Resistance. Commander Rod out.
If you are receiving this, then that means you were trusted enough to learn of the sensitive nature regarding the undead, and the status of this war. At the start of the conflict, both sides deployed their forces accordingly. However, it was only a few hours before the reality of the situation was apparent. The undead cut a deep swath south towards Umbra Wildwood, then cut deep north into Reaching Trail. They pushed east and west with little resistance. Then they stopped, and focused on Fearmore for what seemed like weeks, leaving the Wardens free to recapture their territory, and the same goes for the west and south. Somebody's leading the undead. I'm not sure who, but there's been enough hearsay to suggest that certain commanders have decided that attempting to coerce the Horde against their foes, damned be the casualties or the damage it inflicts upon themselves. I'm convinced now that there is a dark cabal of conspirators on either side, dedicated to pursuing their own personal glory at all costs. If you are receiving this, then I need you to help me. I need you. More than ever in any other conflict, before or since, or else we face the curse of endless night. Forge an alliance. Stop killing each other, and focus on the dead. Then we can purge the valley of this damned blight and get back to business, maybe in a more respectable manner. There is no foreseeable future where Messian or Sievish people survive this if we allow it to fester. As for who is responsible, I don't know that yet. But come hell or high water, I will find out, even if it takes me my entire life to do so. I entrust you with this message. See that it gets to where it needs to go. And if it cannot, spread it everywhere.
Hello, Geoffrey. Mann with the PressCorps here. Trying to make sense of some fucking Scout Alpha situation. Kind of surrounded at the moment. Gonna have to find a way out of here. There's a hole in the roof I'm gonna have to leap through. Shit!
Just can't make it.
Live from PressCorps World Headquarters, this is a special report. Just receive another transmission here. Sorry for the quick turnaround. Hold on. Close that door. All right, thank you. Joining us here live on the air is Commander Rod of the Roughnecks. Can you hear us, Commander Rod?
We're live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. How you doing? Is everything all right over there?
I'm doing quite all right. The headquarters is doing just fine. Tell me, Rod, where are you right now?
Me and my boys are currently over by Base Acre in the Orebreaker Isles.
Orebreaker Isles, seems to be Wardens are holding out there. Now, Orebreaker Isles is very interesting. So, there are a lot of islands in Orebreaker, of course, but no connection over mainland. Are those islands safe?
So far, most of the islands over to the northwest of the region are safe. Skelter, Alabaster, Conclave. Problem is, Cafeteria has been taken, and I've heard reports of people ferrying the infected across channels.
Okay. Is there any kind of check for these infected? Is there anything being done to screen them?
As far as I understand, previously before we had managed to bring medical supplies from the homeland, anyone who was bleeding profusely was deemed to be irretrievable and was disposed of with a shot to the head. As far as we can understand, my sources say that the head is the most important thing to take out.
I see. And but is it necessary? Can explosives work? Can enough shots to the body work?
It's possible. The problem is that unless you take the head, they will get back up again. If they die, it's one thing, but if you take out the head, they won't get back up.
Well, that sounds logical. Now you've said Skelter Course, one of the larger, if not largest, island in Orebreaker is still standing, is secure for the moment. There is a bridge that leads into the mainland, from the Ides and into the mainland. How secure is that bridge at Skelter Course?
So we have a lot of defenses set up in the Ides. Skelter Course should be kept up by the Ward technology that the science division cooked up. I'm not really sure how that thing works, but I've seen it work before, so I'm putting my life at the hands of the scientists.
Okay, and can you discuss this technology? Will apparently change things.
I hope so. See, the thing that would be the saving grace would be putting a ward around the forts. These forts are just too strong. They just come out in droves out of those things.
They're talking about the infected forts, these kind of hives that dot the countryside.
Yeah. They have one over by Cofteri Channel right now. They took out Integrum, as far as my reports go, and they're going for Posturas next.
How do they get into Integrum? It seems they'd have to get past Posturas first.
So the two things that I heard is this. They're either jumping off of the docks over by the shipyards in Cofteri Channel, or they're being ferried across from Scarp of Ambros, from Spearhead.
Just as people are just refugees just trying to get out of the hot areas.
Oh no, the refugees are one thing. These are people that are deliberately bringing in the deadhead.
Hold on. So you're talking about hostile acts of bioterrorism being conducted by people willingly being conducted.
Look, Geoffrey, I know that I write a lot of fiction when it comes to the whole old wives' tales about undead people. But come on, man. This is serious. This is real, okay? I've been seeing people with goddamn emblems on their goddamn helmets bringing these deadheads across the channel. These people are deliberately attacking us. Not only us, but I've seen them doing it for the Colonials as well.
That's fascinating. Okay, well, you're going to have to gather more information on that. Tap into our resources. How long do you think you'll be able to hold out there in Orebreaker?
As long as the Roughnecks are on the job, this place isn't falling. Warden Navy is here with us, and I know we can trust them.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to you, Commander Rod.
Thank you, Geoffrey.
All right.
Say Oliver for me.
Of course, yeah. I'll say hello to Dr. Oliver.
I'm buying him a whiskey.
All right. He might have a lot stocked up though, so I don't know. I don't know if you need to bother.
Hey, it's the end of the world. If that man has one thing, it's booze.
All right, Commander Rod of the Roughnecks joining us here live on the air. Thank you.
Thank you.
And casualty rates continue to mount. No major counteroffensives into the undead have been reported. Possible one is underway, but we're not aware of it. Again, if you have any stories, please go to PressCorps World Headquarters and we'll make sure to get your story live on the air somehow, some way. If you think that there is any possible way that difficulties right now, we're having a little trouble staying with you as long as we can. Last I checked, security here at PressCorps World Headquarters was very sufficient, and we've been told that the area has been safe for quite some time. But as usual, our transceivers, our transponders, our output, our broadcast towers dotted around the Seavish Valley war zone may not necessarily stay with you as long as we can. For now, we'll go back to the music. We'll go back to the music for now.
Come down, believe me, and I want is God.
Coming through all right, Ralphie? Good. All right. If there is anyone out there, stay 9 or 10, this outbreak began. Combined casualty number puts the official death toll 48,700 dead. Number of wounded is much, much lower. Number of civilian casualties, both Siva and Veli, from undead forces, as well as from the general breakdown of order, said to be in the hundreds of thousands. True number may never be known. Will most likely be too much. Both Warden and Colonial militaries are still operational in the original war zone, particularly around the edges. It's being widely reported that the epicenter of this outbreak was somewhere in very aptly named Deadlands. Therefore, any approach towards that region, is said to be very, very dangerous. Human activity exists significantly less towards the Deadlands, though there are some notable pockets of ongoing resistance, such as Barrymore and Lochmore and Ulster Falls and the Linn of Mercy. How long they can hold out for is anyone's guess. Reports of sporadic and spontaneous ceasefires are coming through, but both nations have reiterated that they are still at war with each other. Fraternization with the enemy is not to be accepted. How far down the chain of command those orders are still being enforced, we're not sure. Here at PressCorps World Headquarters, the majority of our staff has been evacuated. We are running on a skeleton crew. We don't know how long our power or our signal will hold out, but we will stay with you on the air for as long as we can. If we are unable to continue the broadcast, we will switch to automated emergency messages. Tactics that have proven very effective against the undead include staying in tight-knit groups, forming firing lines, using the terrain to your advantage. Funnel hordes into as narrow of a passageway as possible for cost effectiveness with ammunition, as well as for flank security. Always have a means of escape. If you do decide to leave your fortification, move quickly, lightly, quietly, and do not stop moving. Disposal of dead bodies is also highly... This is an automated message from the PressCorps. Both the Sevish and Colonial governments have issued states of emergency and martial law for their respective nations. If faced with a hostile threat, run. If you are unable to outrun your pursuers, hide. If you are unable to hide, fight. And fight until the threat has been absolutely eliminated. Attempt to reduce noise whenever possible, including firearms. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of sick or unwell individuals. Do not approach. Be aware of armed groups posing as government. Do not approach. If you are in a mandatory evacuation area, bring no more than one piece of small luggage and a photo ID. Do not attempt self-termination, as doing so may not have the desired effect. This message will repeat. This is an automated message from the PressCorps. Both the Sevish and Colonial governments have issued states of emergency and martial law for their respective nations. If faced with a hostile threat, run. If you are unable to outrun your pursuers, hide. If you are unable to hide, fight. And fight until the threat has been absolutely eliminated. Attempt to reduce noise whenever possible, including firearms. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of sick or unwell individuals. Do not approach. Be aware of armed groups posing as government. Do not approach. If you are in a mandatory evacuation area, bring no more than one piece of small luggage and a photo ID. Do not attempt self-termination, as doing so may not have the desired effect. This message will repeat.